All right. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in our beautiful new earth, and welcome. Welcome to the level one, but it is more of an event and class. And we will be connecting to the Krystic Light Ascension Codes. All right. So we will be entering into level one, and there are 3 levels for this series, and they are sequential. And I'm just actually gonna do a little intro in case there are people joining on the replays that are new to my work. So I'm Sherry Mosley. I'm here in Sausalito, California, and I work in Akashic Enlightenment, working with the higher dimensional fields of light as a shamanic practice of connecting to higher interdimensional fields and beings that are in those dimensional fields, as well as connecting to the greater Akasha and your Akashic records for all of the sessions that I do. I also practice Asian medicine, but we won't be applying that to these sessions for this event. And you are, of course, always welcome to open your own Akashic Enlightenment. If you don't have the Akashic Enlightenment prayer, you can get that in the Akashic Enlightenment book, which is available. You can find it on my website, sherrymosley.com, or you can just search online. It's sold wherever books are sold. And there is a downloadable Kindle version, so you could have it immediately if you wanted to. But I don't go into teaching the prayer in these classes. I do the teachings of Akashic Enlightenment separately. So if you're interested in learning it more in depth, you can sign up for a personal reading or an online recorded webinar or group event. So today I will be working in the Akashic Enlightenment field, and I will be opening up the higher dimensional space. Just people set here. And we'll be connecting to the Krystic Light Ascension Codes. And I'm not quite sure what dimensional space we'll be going into, as I received these codes while doing the New Light of New Earth, New Lemuria retreat in Kauai in May. And these frequencies are quite different from any of the other frequencies that I've worked with before. And a couple of reasons is, number one, I have never done a retreat in Kauai in person. I have taught Akashic Enlightenment there, but I haven't done a retreat. And what happens oftentimes when I host a retreat is I am then given a certain series of frequencies, codes to then pass on to the collective. So those have processed, and that's what these events are. And these frequencies are actually coinciding with, let this person in, coinciding with the new frequencies that we have been rebirthed to. And this has been a process that we've been in for a while, but you probably felt it over the beginning of this year through probably May. And now that we're in June, it's a lot more calm and stabilized. But the frequencies were pretty bumpy and transformative. Pretty much since November, where Pluto finally went into Aquarius after being in Capricorn for 16 years, and then coming into Aquarius for now 20 years. So I would say that the beginning of the year 2025 was more or less a transformational process, allowing us to release anything that we needed to, allowing things to surface. And then the energies that we're coming into now are a rebirthing energy. And this is quite common after we go through a period of, you could say, energetic detox, as well as consciousness shifting. And this is where Kauai comes in. There are vortexes all over the earth, and certain vortexes hold certain higher purposes. I have a little tickle and I drink some water. There we go. So each of these vortexes on the Earth can be considered a power spot, power location. And this is where the new frequencies come into our Earth first. And then they travel through the energetic grids through the Earth and come to where they need to go, where some people are called to these vortexes to then distribute the frequencies to the collective. And that's pretty much why we do these retreats. They accelerate personal healing, but we also then receive new encoding that the Earth is attuning to. And then as we go through that transformation, we shift others then who come into contact with us. And there are many different levels of this. Attunements are much more, you could say, permanent shift. And these are transmissions. So this is more of a collective, you could say more temporary shift or present time shift, right? The difference is, sometimes people go through your overall awakening, right? Usually people have at least one of these in their lifetimes. And then after that, there's maybe more little awakenings or deeper understandings as you move along. And I'd say that these events are more of the little deeper understandings. And so it doesn't matter if you've had a grand awakening or not, it's going to give you what you need right now. And now could also be any time in the future that you are in this Pluto and Aquarius cycle. Okay, so 2025 is a very monumental year because it is laying down kind of the new roadmap of frequencies for us to partake in as we go through getting used to 20 years of Pluto and Aquarius. Okay, so these frequencies, the Krystic Light Ascension Codes, are going to be, the first of this new light, this new frequency that we are going to be getting used to. So you could say that this is, like the new blueprint, right? And that's what 2025 is about. So for these, there's going to be two 45-minute transmissions. Let me just look at the math really quick here on the transmission of the overall event. Okay, yeah. So for each of them, so we'll be doing 2-hour sessions. Okay, so this is also a little different than what I normally do. Okay, we usually do an hour and a half and 30-minute transmissions, but these are going to be 2 hours because we're doing two 45-minute transmissions for each of the 5 sessions. Okay, so that will be a total of 10 45 minutes. And they're extended because we're doing more. Okay, the amount of frequencies and energy that is coming in really is what depicts the length of a session. And if the frequencies, they're going to be very high frequency, but we also don't want to overwhelm the body, mind, spirit complex in rushing and bringing in new frequencies. So we'll be doing two 45-minute sessions in Akashic Enlightenment. I'm just going to read a bit of the channeled information that was in the title or the beginning of this event. So the acronym Kryst, it also stands for Ka, Ra, Ya, Sa, Ta, and these are tones like light language that connect to a Christ consciousness frequency, or you could say an ascended frequency, meaning that connecting to the higher chakras and the higher energy fields and allowing that encoding to come in. So we are templating to this new level of light, and we are receiving changes to a higher level of awakening to our true selves on a higher level, right? I always say the ceiling just keeps going up, right? So our consciousness comes up to, the ceiling's here, our consciousness can come up this far. This is where, the collective has agreed, unless maybe you're a monk kind of living in the woods, in a mountain, You may be able to go to really high frequencies, but most of us are coming to the top level of the collective frequency, and then we're kind of setting the new template for the collective then to come up to, right? And so then that just keeps coming up, and that's more or less the ascension of Earth that we are overall undergoing. And so with this, you'll receive an experience or experience a new level of understanding of yourself, a new level of peace and of great divine love and pure being in this new structure of light. Okay, as your planet shifts, so does your light structure. These are the new codes of light for your present path of awakening and ascension. So each of the three levels will expand you to a new level of self-awareness, leading up to ultimately receiving the Adam Codman templates, which will follow these sessions. So I'll get into that a little bit later. The Adam Codman template, we'll address that later. But it is, again, a very high frequency, you could say almost like a sacred geometry encoding, right? That's coming in. So first we're going to come into the new codes, and then we'll get more of a bigger template. I'm actually starting to feel the energies coming in, so I'll probably stop talking here. Okay, and I think that suffices for our intro. So we'll do our two transmissions. We'll take a little break in between. And then if you have any questions, or of course sharing your experiences, we'll do that at the end of both of the transmissions. Okay, so again, you are welcome to open your own Akashic Enlightenment for these. It's not required. And yeah, make sure that your spine is straight so that you can allow the frequencies to flow through. You can be seated or laying down. It's okay if you fall asleep. You're just going into a higher brainwave state to receive the frequencies. And you may feel activation in certain parts of your body, like your palms or certain chakras or organ systems. And you may just kind of go into a deep space and then all of a sudden come back and it's 45 minutes later, and that's okay too. All right. And yeah, make sure your arms and legs are uncrossed as well, just to allow the energy to flow through the meridians and channels. Okay. All right. So go ahead and get comfortable. And you can open your own Akashic Enlightenment if you'd like to now. And I'll open the space and I'll see you on the other side. Okay.